My name is Manish Rajwani from Rogers Capital. I am part of the team that is your local host for AFPIF 2019. And on behalf of the organizers, the Internet Society, the African Internet Exchange Association, Rogers Capital, and all our sponsors, I would like to extend a warm welcome to all guests of AFPIF, the African Peering and Interconnection Forum, being hosted for the very first time in the Indian Ocean territories, and our lovely Mauritius. AFPIF is a very personal event to us. As Rogers Capital, we had started peering in South Africa in 2016, and Nishal kept talking to us about this fantastic networking event. And so we sent a rep to Côte d'Ivoire in 2017 to this thing called AFPIF, frankly, not knowing what we were getting into. But the discussions that happened, the feedback that followed from the event, ignited our interest about what was happening in the internet domain. And we were determined that this extraordinary gathering needed to be brought to Mauritius. What resonated very well with us was the community nature of the event, and that which we felt we were really missing here in Mauritius. That's when it struck the chord with us, and we realized that AFPIF could be a great forum to rally the local community and stakeholders of the industry around the betterment of the internet and what needs to be done to improve the internet for all. Many of you don't know that we actually applied to host the event in 2018, but lost to Cape Town. But we were dogmatic that the incredible event be brought to Mauritius. And so we applied again in 2018 to host the event in 2019, and well, here you are today. We learned firsthand through our engagements how the internet is this fantastic tool where we have to learn to compete at commercial levels, but collaborate at technical levels. How engagement fosters growth, and where a conceivable what if is answered by a resounding, well, why not? At a very personal level, I'm resolute in my belief that if AFPIF helps you to see even a fraction of what we've been able to learn through our interactions via this forum, ladies and gentlemen, then your time here is very well spent. Our first welcome address comes from Andrew Sullivan, CEO of the Internet Society. Andrew joined the Internet Society as President and Chief Executive Officer in September 2018. Andrew is a long-term proponent of the openness and foundational elements that drive the internet. He has worked on internet infrastructure and standards since 2001. In 2012, he joined Dyn, later Oracle Dyn, to establish Dyn Labs and then to manage the DNS development and architecture departments. His activities in this area led to him being appointed to the Internet Architecture Board, the IAB, in 2013. I would now like to call upon Andrew Sullivan, the CEO of Internet Society, for his welcome note.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for inviting me. I'm exceptionally pleased to be here at the 10th Africa Peering and Interconnection Forum. The Internet Society is extraordinarily proud to have been associated with this event since its inception in Nairobi. The meeting has been all over the African continent. This is the first time it is here in the Indian Ocean Islands area, and I'm delighted to be welcomed here in Mauritius to talk about how we build the internet. Let us make no mistake. Peering and interconnection really is how we build the internet. People get tired of hearing me say this, but I'm going to say it again. The internet is a network of networks. And what that means is that each network gets to do its own thing. It's only through peering and interconnection that we get the internet at all. That is why meetings like this are so important. You don't get magical interconnection. People don't interconnect with one another if they're just random strangers off the street. You have to trust people. You have to build up that community. And this is a marvelous community event, an event that is super important to create that community and to build it People come together, sure, they set up peering relationships. They also identify the challenges, ensure that the understanding of how the internet works, that it spreads around the continent, how it spreads around the community. And this works. Traffic inside Africa has expanded enormously since the beginning of AFPIF, and I think it's no accident. Now, there remain challenges. That's why it's so important that meetings like this continue. There are cross-border interconnections that some countries don't like to do. We find that some countries have poorly functioning or non-existent internet exchange points. There are regulatory environments that discourage infrastructure investment. There's just lack of data about connectivity. Africa has some of the poorest penetration of measurement around how connectivity works here. There's still a great deal to do. And that's why it's so important that there is a robust community here, led now by our colleagues at the African Internet Exchange Association. Everybody will continue to work together to ensure that the internet is built in Africa according to the needs of Africans and according to the African internet experience. Thank you for inviting me today. Thank you to all the AFPIF sponsors, so many of them up here, and also to the participants, all of you, without whom this meeting would not happen. I look forward to improving my understanding of how the internet works here in Africa this week, and I thank you for having me today. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Andrew. I mentioned earlier that one of the elements that resonated with us is the common spirit that is attached to AFPIF. No small part of this comes from the 100% community-elected PC and the effort of the volunteer-driven African Internet Exchange Point Association that AFPIF will be transitioning to. As co-chairs, Nishal Gabardhan and Kyle Spencer lead the AFIX team, and I am going to call up Kyle Spencer to tell us very briefly what this means. Kyle?
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. My name is Kyle Spencer. I'm here on behalf of the African IXP Association. And I'd just like to start by saying that we're very happy to be here in Mauritius for our 10th anniversary. I've been here about a week, and I've been lucky to see some of the island, and it's obviously a very beautiful and warm country with a rich history and culture that I encourage all of you to explore. I'd also like to thank our hosts, Rogers Capital, our sponsors, our logistics team, our program committee, and everyone else involved in organizing this event this year and throughout the past. It takes a lot of effort to put this together, and we wouldn't be here without all of you. I'd also like to thank everybody in this room for attending. We firmly believe that the core value of this event is its community. And we're extremely grateful to everyone here for making AFPIF such a powerful catalyst for the development of Africa's internet ecosystem. As you may know, the Internet Society is gradually handing over the reins of this organization to the African IXP Association. And you'll hear more about this during the event in the coming days. But I'd just like to briefly say that we're extremely grateful for their good work over the last 10 years, and that we feel confident that we can live up to their legacy, particularly with the support of the new secretariat that we're establishing in Rwanda with support from RICTA. I'd like to reiterate that this is an open community event. Neutrality is at our core, and we plan to maintain that ethos as we look forward into the future. So I hope you all enjoy your time here and look forward to interacting with everybody in the next few days. Thank you.
Thank you, Kyle. Now, I mentioned that we'd attended AFPIF in 2017, and that single bite was enough to get us hooked. But no small part of getting AFPIF here would have happened if we did not have the support of the entire Rogers Capital team. So I'm going to call up Dave Hurkoo, Managing Director of the Technology of Rogers Capital, next. Dave has over 20 years of experience in ICT and media businesses. Starting his career as data network consultant, he designed and implemented the first broadband network in Mauritius and also helped in the setting up of the internet infrastructure on a national scale. After heading the leading internet service provider and launching the first broadband services of the country in 2001, they've moved on to work for a few years as CIO of a leading telecom company in Mauritius. He later joined Rogers Capital Technology as the managing director in May 2018. They will tell us briefly what Rogers Capital is doing in the connectivity space and why we've been so passionate about seeing AFPIF in Mauritius. Please join me in welcoming Dave on stage.
Good morning, everybody. It's really a huge honor for Rogers Capital to be the local host for AFPIF 2019. AFPIF is doing a lot to help in the development of internet infrastructure in Africa and to create the awareness about the benefits of peering and interconnection, about how we can enhance the performance of the internet, get better quality of service, reduce cost of the internet infrastructure, get better resiliency of the network, and create an overall ecosystem for a more efficient sharing of content across the community. Importance that these may have in creating a better internet infrastructure for a country, including for Mauritius with the ambition to turn the island into an ICT hub for the region. I do believe we have a very good infrastructure in Mauritius, but I think as well, being into internet, I do believe we can do more. And we are very proud to have the opportunity to support and contribute to these initiatives through bringing AFPIF over here. Let me present to you very rapidly Rogers Capital and how we are helping in the development of the internet infrastructure, not only in Mauritius, but also in the region. Rogers Capital is part of the Rogers Group, which is among the largest conglomerates listed on the stock exchange of Mauritius and serving 4 main markets, namely the fintech, hospitality, logistics, and property. As you may have guessed, Rogers Capital is a fintech arm of Rogers Group with 3 main entities. One is an entity in the global business, another one in consumer finance, and we are the third one in technology. And in the technology entity, we were essentially an IT company providing IT-enabled services to the enterprise market, B2B market essentially, be it cloud, enterprise services, enterprise infrastructure, cybersecurity, and software and business applications, and so on. But then our key strength, our forte, was in providing customized solutions for our customers. And on these solutions, customized solutions, what we will do, we will really commit on these solutions that we provide to enterprise customers. And over time, what we found is that there was something missing. To be able to commit in an end-to-end way to all businesses, it was the connectivity. That leak, as I tell, connectivity, but not only connectivity, but manage connectivity so that we can really guarantee that the service is perfect with SLAs and so on. That capability we did not have, and then we acquired an ISP in 2015. This is where our journey in the telco business started, where we also get to know about AFPIF, because we went to AFPIF 2 years back in Ivory Coast and learned about lots of things over there. It was very enriching experience and a real eye-opener. And we said to ourselves that we need to share whatever we are seeing over there in AFPIF conference, we need to share with the local community. And because we think that even though in Mauritius we have a very good infrastructure, there are certain discussions that are being held that we are missing in Mauritius, especially in terms of community driven initiatives and so on, and having people who are really technically very savvy and who can really share with others, and help all the community grow. This was something which was, we believe, lacking. And this is why we said, okay, let's bid to have AFPIF in Mauritius. We bid the first time in 2017. Unfortunately, Cape Town was better than us at that time. And then luckily last year when we bid, we got chosen by AFPIF. We're very thankful for that, to come over here and then share with the local community over here. And with AFPIF, in fact, given that we were a small ISP and so on, we started growing because we learned through AFPIF about how to build better networks and so on. And what we've done is that we've invested in steps. Initially, when we started, we had, with the acquisition that we made in the ISP business, we had a wireless network. And then when we invested in steps, the first investment we did was on a local network, where we replaced most of the equipment for more robust and higher performance in the network, and built a resilient backbone, and we also extended the reach to cover the entire island. So this was the first step. We also strengthened the team so that we can connect customers in 1 day or maximum 2 days. This was what we were doing. And then we said, not sufficient. Step 2, we said, what can we do on the international network infrastructure? And here in the region, we started opening POPs in South Africa, in Kenya, Madagascar, and Seychelles. We provided redundancy and enhanced quality of service on the international side by having our own capacity on both SAFE and Lion cables. And we also had 2 POPs locally in Mauritius, one connected to SAFE and another one to Lion. We are now looking to expand our footprint in Africa further, so as to accompany Mauritian businesses moving onto the continent, and are looking for the right partners to enable us to do so. The step 3 that we did in terms of investment was looking back at the local network, because we had a microwave wireless network, and we thought that we cannot go on just having wireless network, and we invested into fiber. We started offering fiber connectivity solutions in key business areas across the island, at times with our own GPON network, at times with other operators, other partners' network. And today we can offer managed connectivity services across the entire island, either on our own GPON network, on our partners' network, or on our microwave wireless network. And we respond to our customers' requirements, and we give diversity as well on this network. And what we've learned is not to have any issue to work with partners. So we don't have any issue, for instance, connecting one of our customers on our partners' network instead of connecting the customer on our own network. So whatever is good for the customer, we will go for it. The final step that we've taken recently is a move to roll out data centers, which is a logical step, given the increasing trend towards cloud services, digital transformation, and data protection, and so on. And in order to be able, in the same vein, to be able to commit on whatever solutions that we give to our customers, we found that maybe it's good that we create our own data center, carrier neutral, of course. And we did that by setting up the data center in Eben with ISO 27001 certification, and which is also hosting the Mauritius IXP. Given our customer need for disaster recovery, we also invested in a backup data center in LTK, in Latu-Kenik. But we're not stopping there. Just as for the connectivity partners and so on, here again, we do have other data centers in Mauritius, and we are working with these so that based on whatever our customers require, if we need to find hosting solutions or cloud services based on other data centers, we are okay to develop these solutions for our customers. This then enables us to remain neutral in our approach and always provide the best solutions to our customer. This sums in very few lines The recent main developments that we've done in terms of telco and internet infrastructure developments for Mauritius and also the region. And finally, as local host, I would like to seize the opportunity to wish you a nice and enriching experience in AFPIF 2019. I would like in particular to thank the sponsors and also the local sponsors with whom we would not have been able to organize such a conference in Mauritius. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Dave. Our next welcome address is from Rajnish Hawabhay, Chief Technical Officer of the Ministry of Technology, Communication and Innovation. Rajnish began his career as an analyst programmer and served as an assistant manager at the Industrial and Vocational Training Board. He has also served as project manager at the Central Informatics Bureau and was on secondment at the SADC Secretariat under the Young Professionals Program. From 2008 to 2014, he served as acting director at the Central Informatics Bureau, and in 2014, he was appointed CTO at the Ministry of Technology, Communication and Innovation. Rajnish holds a master's in leadership development in ICT and the Knowledge Society and a master's degree in business administration from the University of Mauritius. Please join me in welcoming Rajnish on stage.
Mr. Andrew Sullivan, the CEO of Internet Society. Kyle Spencer, the expert from African Internet Exchange Association. Dave Hurkoo, Managing Director of Rogers Capital Technology. Experts in peering and interconnection. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. First of all, I would like to present the apologies of the Honorable Minister of Technology, Communication and Innovation, who, due to some personal commitments, he has not been able to make it this morning. If not, he would have enjoyed to be in our midst today on the occasion of AFPIF's 10th edition. Also, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's important for us in the Ministry of Technology, Communication and Innovation to recognize AFPIF's long route over 10 years where matters of peering and interconnection have been discussed, and I understand have gone from learning about peering and interconnection to today having discussions, technical discussions on the real implications of doing peering and interconnection, because these are the topics that are really revolutionizing the internet. Today, we in Africa have a lot of content. If we look at so much of indigenous knowledge that we have, that knowledge must find itself into content that is accessible to our people. And that content must be accessible within the countries and not being accessible through networks that have go to London, to Europe, to America to be served. And that is why this forum finds itself as an important piece of the internet ecosystem that can really redynamize what we do in our different countries. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to say a few words on the ICT sector in Mauritius and a bit about internet also in Mauritius. The ICT sector today has become the third pillar of the Mauritian economy. For us, Mauritians, we know that the ICT sector was non-existent, I would say mostly non-existent, before the 2000s. If we go by the cyber city in Eben, you've seen the transformation from sugarcane fields to today a buoyant place where ICTs are being exploited, where businesses are located, and where activity, economic activity is happening in Eben. This has been possible, and today we are, the ICT sector is the third pillar of the economy, contributing about 5.6% to the GDP and growing at 5.3% annually. It is also home to about 750 plus companies, and it is also home to, or giving employment to more than 23,000 people in the sector. This is the case about the ICT sector. But let us look at internet connectivity. Today, Mauritius is connected to 2 submarine cables, the SAFE and Lion 2 cable, and we are expected to see by Q2 of next year the coming into operation of 2 more cables, which are the IOX and the METIS cables. Terabit cables that would bring a transformative effect on the ICT ecosystem in Mauritius. Once you get international connectivity, what about local connectivity? Mauritius has today 2 backhauls. We have one which was a proper backhaul that existed for many years. Now we have a second operator with a backhaul that serves the whole nation. We also have fiber to the home that covers the whole island. So we have today, I would say, about 100% coverage in terms of households connected to FTTH. This has translated into a broadband connectivity of 87% as per figures of December 2018, or if you take it pure internet connectivity of 107%. Mobile connectivity is running at 155%. So within this big ecosystem, connectivity has become possible for each and every citizen of this country at affordable prices. What do we do with all this? One, it is with the cables that are coming in, we foresee that there is a lot of services that we could give from here to East and Southern Africa with the hosting of data centers. Disaster recovery centers become very viable, and I'm pleased to hear that, like Rogers Capital, other businesses are wishing to go that road. So this is something that is very much possible in terms of internet connectivity, in terms of internet business from here. But what about our people? To run those businesses, you need to have people who can work in the sector. And for that, you need to build capacity. And we are, as a ministry, we have, through our National Computer Board, a parastatal body, we have introduced coding in primary and secondary schools for the past 3-4 years. And we have already done more than 2,500 children every year being exposed to ICT through coding. But we want now to introduce coding in the curriculum. So as from next year, as announced in budget speech 2019-2020, which was just announced in June rather, we're going to have coding in primary and secondary schools within the curriculum. So this is a major change, because what is important is not just to give a flair of what it is, but it's also important to build on what is being done every year, so to reinforce the coding experience of our young people to get them ready for the 21st century skills that they badly need if they want to operate into this world. Now, this is one aspect. Another aspect of what we're doing is at the tertiary level. At the tertiary level, our universities are coming up with new courses in ICTs, and we also have seen the University of Mauritius doubling its intake in ICTs, so that we are ready to be able to take hold of our challenges in ICT and really take the ICT sector to become what we wish to become the first pillar of the economy, a real strong sector. If we take all this and we move forward, then we also have issues of how do we really make peering happen in Mauritius. To tell you where we are, currently we have the Mauritius IXP, which is an IXP set up in Mauritius, but we need to strengthen the IXP. We need to have all operators well established in the IXP and also grow into become an IXP that can serve the region. And I believe, and we believe, that this is possible for different initiatives that we are taking at the level of the ministry and also the internet service providers in the country. And we would like also, before ending, just to confirm that government much in having an open access policy, whether it is in terms of cables, whether it is in terms of interconnections at the landing stations, whether it is in terms of services at the data centers. And for that also we have provided a very strong legal framework. Today we have an ICT Act which is very much forward-looking, and we also have a Data Protection Act which caters for the data protection practices, best practices internationally, and also is aligned with the European Union's general data protection regulations. With these words, I'd like to conclude by saying that let us make those 3 days enjoyable. These 3 days very enriching because we have a lot of experts, and I've seen a program that is very, very rich in terms of exchanges, and let's make it a success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rajnish. And we take this opportunity to thank the officials of the Ministry of Technology, Communication and Innovation for gracing this event with their presence. So we'll now move on to the next talk of the session, of today's session, which is a keynote presentation. So this keynote presentation will be delivered by Karen Rose, who's the principal at Zinia Digital, and Mishuki Mwangi, who all of us know him and who needs no introduction. So the title of the presentation is, The Road to AFPIF 10. And let me tell you that this is a presentation where Kyle and Mishuki will be taking us through the 10 years of AFPIF.